Okay, let's dive right into this. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're attempting something, well, kind of incredibly unique. We're going to do a deep structural microanalysis of a profoundly concentrated source text. I mean, we're talking about a text that is only 2 sentences long. But within these 2 sentences, there's an entire epic, a complete philosophy of moral balance, and a literal blueprint for a cosmic journey. So our goal today is to unpack every single word, every implication, and really wrap our heads around the architecture of this tiny, yet absolutely massive narrative.
I'm going to read this completely, and I want to read it a bit slowly because we really need to let the epic weight of these words land before we start breaking the puzzle apart. Okay, here it is. When darkness grows in human hearts, when ego becomes stronger than kindness, the universe calls only one name, Siva. This is the journey of Siva to the Himalayan mountains. It's incredibly brief, isn't it? Yet the tension, the sheer stakes presented in just a few dozen words, it's absolutely staggering.
So before we get into the mechanics of the text, I want to pose a question directly to you. What actually happens when cosmic balance is completely lost? Seriously, think about your own understanding of balance. When the scales tip way too far in the wrong direction, what's the mechanism that fixes it? Does it just, correct itself naturally, or does it require a massive intervention? Well, the text we're analyzing today provides a very definitive, very dramatic answer to that exact question.
And that brings us to Section 1, the rise of darkness. To truly understand the cosmic reaction, we first have to look at the opening conditions. The text kicks off by establishing a threat, but pay close attention to the specific location here: darkness in human hearts. The author doesn't place this darkness up in the sky or frame it as some external alien force attacking us from the outside. No. The crisis is deeply intimate. It's internal. The cosmic imbalance begins entirely within us, right at the microscopic level of human emotion and intent. It's a very deliberate choice to locate the epicenter of a universe-altering event right inside the human heart. Now, what's really interesting here is how the text immediately defines what this darkness actually is. It's not a literal shadow. Instead, it sets up this direct sliding scale relationship between two very specific human traits: ego and kindness. The darkness isn't just some generic evil. Actually, scratch that. It is explicitly defined as the exact moment when ego overpowers kindness. It's this profound warning about what happens when we prioritize the self over the care of others. If we map this out logically, it forms an almost mathematical equation for moral and cosmic imbalance. It's basically a massive if-then premise. Step 1, you have the initial condition: darkness grows in hearts. Step 2, the critical threshold gets crossed: ego overcomes kindness. And then, step 3, the inevitable result: the universe reacts. The text doesn't present this sequence as a mere possibility. It treats it as an absolute, undeniable law of nature. If 1 and 2 happen, 3 is guaranteed. Which leads us directly into Section 2. The universe takes action. Okay, so the threshold of ego has been crossed. Notice how the source text treats the universe in response. It's not described as just an empty void of space or a random collection of gases and stars. The text uniquely defines the universe as an active, aware entity. It's literally observing the human imbalance happening down here on Earth, and it possesses the agency to call out to restore order. It totally personifies the cosmos as a living guardian of balance. So the crucial point here is the absolute singularity of the response. When this living universe recognizes that kindness is failing and ego is just taking over, it doesn't call a committee. It doesn't summon an army or, send a giant flood. The text tells us that the universe calls only one name. That absolute singularity, it tells us everything we need to know about the sheer power of the entity being summoned. And that name is Siva. The dramatic weight of this single word dropping at the very end of the first sentence is just brilliant. Think about it. The growing darkness of all human hearts combined, the collective weight of human ego overpowering kindness across the entire world is met with just one answer: Siva. The text perfectly positions this single figure as the equal, opposite, and ultimate counterforce to total global moral collapse. But this cosmic calling doesn't just happen in some abstract, ethereal space. The text instantly grounds us with a specific geographical location, which really begs the question: why the Himalayan mountains? The universe makes this metaphysical call, but the response is a gritty, physical journey to a highly specific, formidable earthly terrain. It builds incredible tension, kind of making us wonder what exactly is waiting up in those peaks.
Let's explore that in Section 3, Journey to the Mountains.
Let's move to and see how this builds, because we can break down that final sentence into its 3 core components of action. First, we have a physical response to the cosmic call. The movement has officially begun. Second, we have a clear destination, the Himalayas, which really grounds the epic in our reality. And third, woven right into the subtext of this journey is an impending confrontation. I mean, you don't get called by the universe to fix the darkness of human ego just to go for a casual hike, right?
This is the journey, and this brilliantly illustrates the true nature of the text we've been examining today. We realize, reading these final words, that the text has actually left us at the very beginning of the action. It serves purely as an inciting incident. Everything we just analyzed, the imbalance, the ego, the cosmic call, that was all just the prologue, setting us up at the starting line. The actual story is what happens next. Which leaves us right here, with this final, provocative thought. What happens when ego is finally confronted? The text promises a journey to restore kindness, but it leaves the actual details of that confrontation entirely up to our imagination. It leaves us hungry to learn more, to follow the path up into those mountains, and to see exactly how one single force can restore the balance of the human heart. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive. Keep questioning, keep learning, and I'll see you in the next explainer.